The events in this program are inspired by a true story. Names, dates, and events have been changed. Viewer discretion is advised. On this episode of Bizarre Murders, the strange things that lurk in the hearts of men and in internet chat rooms. When fantasies jump off the keyboard and into reality, you might just end up with the bizarrest murder of them all.
Don't you look delicious?
Once upon a time, in a farmhouse set in a beautiful valley of rolling hills, there lived a seemingly normal salesman. 42-year-old Gunter is a bachelor who resides in his childhood home alone. And from not having a partner, something else is missing from his life, a void that needs to be filled.
You see, Gunter dreams of eating people. Actually ingesting them. This isn't a make-believe zombie fetish. He is an aspiring cannibal. It's a fantasy that began during his childhood.
I ask myself the same question, Gudrun, every day, and every day I come back to your home. I come back to you because of the boy, but that is not the boy I want.
Raised by a distant father and a verbally abusive mother, Gunter's household is chaotic, to say the least. Nobody knows for sure what sets Gunter on the twisted path he takes from child to adulthood. Maybe it's his father walking out on him when he was only 5 years old.
Gunter grows up terrified of being abandoned. In his dreams, he has someone he loves and who loves him, a little brother, and they will never be apart. Because Gunter will eat him, ingest him. It's a sick take on togetherness, but Gunter takes it as kind of like snuggling. You want to snuggle with that guy?
Gunter doesn't get much affection at home. Bitter and angry, his mother treats her child as a servant and as an emotional punching bag.
The problem when somebody feels that they have no value is that they just can't go on living this way. A person needs dignity and self-respect.
As an adult, Gunter joins the army.
To the world, Gunter presents himself as friendly and charming while concealing a dark fantasy life. In the business, we call this a mask of sanity. For some people, acting normal is just that, an act. It's why people are so shocked when the quiet guy down the street who keeps to himself turns out to have a dozen skeletons in his closet. It's not an analogy. A dozen real skeletons.
Maybe it's the discipline of military life that keeps him on an even keel. Maybe being away from mom eases the pressure. Or maybe it's losing himself in drink. For that whole time, his fantasies continue. But he doesn't act on them. But it's harder to keep being a drunk under your hat. A couple of DUI car wrecks cost Gunter his military career and sends him crawling back to, you guessed it, Mommie's house.
Willkommen, Liebling.
It seems that this is a turning point for our boy Gunter. Up until now, he's been just a geeky loner weirdo. Every town's got a few of them. But he found a place for himself in the army. Getting booted, though, and ending up back at home where he started seemed to twist something deep inside of him.
Home, single, trapped with his abusive mother in an old house in a tiny village. His military career a failure, Gunter reinvents himself as a salesman. By day, selling surgical tools. By night, trolling the internet. And then, one fine day, Gunter gets a bit of luck.
this is the second turning point. With Mom out of the picture, Gunter is alone in a big house in a tiny village. He makes his mom's room into a shrine, like you do, and spends his empty nights searching chat rooms for people whose fantasies match his own. Now, with no one looking over his shoulder, there's nothing stopping him from making those weird fantasies come true.
In the darkest corners of the internet, Gunter finds what he's been looking for: hook up and cook up. A chat room in which people share their fantasies of eating human flesh or being consumed by a ravenous stranger. Gunter's dreams come true when someone calling himself Morsel replies that he's been looking for someone who wants to eat him up.
They don't just share fantasies, they talk like they're the real deal. They said things like, "I dreamed that someone will eat me up," or "Come to my house and I'll do it." Charming, huh?
In the cannibal chat room world, Gunter becomes a star. His fantasies are compelling, and the murderous tableau he creates are tantalizingly real.
When you start lifting rocks on the internet, what crawls out can take your breath away, sometimes literally. There are boatloads of would-be cannibals out there and whole rafts of sick people who say they'd love to be eaten.
But not everything you order online is actually the merchandise you would hope for.
Luckily for the posers and role players Gunter lures into his home.
No.
He's no Hannibal Lecter. He only wants to dine on someone who's into it too and wants to be eaten.
It takes a while to winnow through the wannabes before Gunter finds the possible meal he's been looking for. If you're imagining a person with dark, hidden desires, Dieter might be the very last person you'd suspect. He's got a great job as a forensic accountant. He's in what looks like a happy, committed relationship.
I'll join you soon. I have to finish some work.
But behind those dreamy blue eyes, Dieter yearns for something. He yearns to be overpowered, absorbed, erased. He goes to the same chat rooms Gunter haunts, but his goal is not to be a cannibal. Dieter believes that his one purpose in life is to be treated like a beast, slaughtered, and eaten for his meat. I'm not making this up.
I want you to admire your dinner.
A romantic candlelight dinner is even more special when the person you are toasting is also the main course.
Are we going to dinner, or are you my dinner?
I have a plate all ready for you.
It used to be only the shadow who knew what evil lurked in the hearts of men. These days, it's anybody with a Wi-Fi connection, but crawling into those holes can be very disturbing. So be careful where you go and what you look for.
Have you slaughtered a man before?
No, only in my dreams.
Weird behaviors are frequently just normal ones taken to a bizarre extreme. Dieter wants to bring pleasure and to be close to someone. That's normal. He thinks the way to do that is to offer himself up as a meal. That's as far from normal as you can get.
Gunter and Dieter make a plan to turn their fantasy into a reality. Gunter has no clue how to go about slaughtering a human being, but he sets out to create the scenario he's got in his head, starting with a place to deal with Dieter's body.
Gunter.
Well, hello.
Don't you look delicious?
My. Yeah, Gunter. What impressive teeth you have.
So now we're getting to the point where people usually say, hey, let's talk about our fantasies, fool around, and then watch a movie. If your partner is too enthusiastic, you say your safe word and bail out. At least that's what I've heard. But Dieter makes things very clear.
Dieter, I wanted you to admire your dinner.
He wants to be eaten, and it's dinner time now.
I just don't think this is working. I didn't want to be awake for this part.
I don't want to get too personal here, but some people can be very particular about their fantasies. Dieter had envisioned things going a little differently. For one thing, he'd figured on better anesthetic than cheap sizzurp and schnapps. Life's full of disappointments.
Drink some more.
Painkillers or no, Dieter is determined. And the disappointment of returning home uneaten is more than he can bear.
All right. You ready? I'm ready.
Dieter's biggest fantasy is that his cannibal lover will start by sinking his teeth into his private parts.
Oh my God.
Well, this is something you shouldn't try at home, or anywhere else for that matter. It's tough, apparently, and very, very sensitive.
Ah! Oh my God!
I'm sorry, Dieter. It's tougher than I thought.
I don't care how much schnapps or magic nighty-nighty cold gloop you've got in your system. The pain must be unimaginable. But obsessions have their own power, and Dieter is desperate to be consumed, to be erased.
Even though Dieter is becoming faint from all the bleeding,
Taste yourself. Taste.
Gunter doesn't want their dream date to end so soon. He's eager to please his dinner companion.
Maybe we need to cook just a little butter, some garlic.
Even now, even mutilated, Dieter could have survived. But he makes Gunter promise not to call an ambulance. That, my friends, is commitment.
What's wrong?
You're not much of a cook.
Gunter and Dieter's cannibal picnic has surprisingly turned into a painful bloodbath. But both of them are determined to make their fantasies come true.
Though despite being determined, both are amateurs.
It turns out that being emasculated by a clueless cannibal wannabe is not a ticket to a painless death nor a quick death. Who knew? Morning finds Dieter still alive, but he's too weak to participate anymore in his self-slaughter. He makes Gunter promise not to wimp out and call an ambulance.
Gunter. I don't think it will be long now. Thank you.
Good night, dear Dieter.
Bon appetit.
His fantasy now satisfied, Gunter savors every moment of the experience of taking Dieter apart. wrapping up the meat and stowing him in the freezer. It's a telltale sign of serial killers that their murders become a kind of ceremony or a ritual.
Out of respect for Dieter, he lays out his best china and opens his finest Brunello.
Prost, dear Dieter. You are as delicious as you were handsome.
It's not that no one was looking for Dieter or that they didn't care. His partner missed him terribly and called in the police when he didn't return from the conference he was supposedly attending.
Dieter did a good job of covering his tracks. He's wiped his hard drive. He paid cash for his train ticket. It was his heart's desire to just vanish, and that's what he's done. As for Gunter, no one suspects him of anything. Dieter was a stranger. If Gunter keeps his head low, nothing's gonna stop him from killing again.
While Dieter's lover searches in vain, Gunter slowly works his way through his freezer load of Dieter steaks and schnitzels. He gets through about a pound a week. It's only a few months before Gunter starts feeling the need for some variety in his diet. He tells his hookup and cook-up chat room pals that now he's a real cannibal. He uses the details of what he did to Dieter to impress prospective entrees.
Now, Gunter has made what polite people like you and me call bad choices. Going online, talking about eating people, not the best choice. Actually eating somebody, very bad choice. Bragging online about eating people, that's how you attract attention for sure. Maybe more attention than you want.
In the chat rooms he haunts, Gunter meets a lot of thrill-seeking posers who type a good game, but they ghost him when he offers the chance to actually be turned into a blue plate special.
Sadly for Gunter, his search is looking fruitless until he gets a bite that seems too good to be true.
Felix is a 25-year-old law student living in Austria. After some chatting, Felix seems to be exactly what Gunter's been looking for. He's young, he's slender and fit. Gunter is drooling with desire.
Hello, Felix. I would love to make a tasty meal of your delicious flesh. I can prove it to you.
Gunter sends details to prove that he's ready to take Felix from farm to table, in comfort and style.
Gunter's dreams have focused on tender young things. Could his second conquest be even more exciting than the first?
Gunter's hot on the trail of a 25-year-old Austrian law student whom he thinks will be more tender than the tough meat he got from Dieter.
There's only one problem. Felix is not interested in actually being made into bratwurst. He's just playing a weird game. And once he coaxes enough out of Gunter to convince himself he's really chatting with a killer cannibal, he calls the cops. Gunter's given enough away in his chats for the police to figure out who he is.
The investigators can't tell for sure if the graphic images Gunter's posted online are real or just skillful amateur horror filmmaking.
Come in.
As for Gunter, he's confident he's done nothing wrong.
Please have a seat.
What is this?
Wild pig. A little gamey, but sehr good. Have some.
The detective takes the frozen remains and has them tested in a lab. But most incriminating is the 6 hours of gruesome video documenting the bloody dinner party that Gunter and Dieter had the night the butchery began. The meat is human. Dieter is identified. The secret world of cannibals who find their prey online is both shocking and horrifying to the public.
Gunter is found guilty of murder and is currently serving a life sentence without possibility of parole. He says there's lots of would-be cannibals in the world, and he advises them to find a better hobby: coaching soccer, building model boats, train spotting. Oh, and one more thing. Gunter's a vegetarian now. He never eats anything that can talk back. I'm just glad I wasn't the detective who had to investigate this.
On this episode of Bizarre Murders, Donna and her daughter Shayna have lived a life of hardship. Shayna's illnesses have left her wheelchair-bound, and her mother has sacrificed everything to help her. But when Donna encounters evil at the hands of a stranger and her daughter goes missing, police race against time to save them and uncover a hidden secret. In a quiet, small town, Lana is concerned about her neighbors, 46-year-old Donna, and her severely handicapped teenage daughter, Shayna. Lana is worried because bizarre messages were posted on Donna's social media page earlier that day.
From an investigator's point of view, you want to pay attention to the difference in tone from the previous posts. Does it sound like a sweet, loving, single mother who has selflessly raised her sickly, handicapped daughter? Or does it sound more like the writings of a deranged killer? My vote is for number 2.
Lana drops by to see what's going on. The house looks like it's been ransacked. Now, very worried about her neighbors, she calls the police. When no one answers the door, police enter the house.
Donna? Shayna?
He makes a horrific discovery. It appears that Donna has been bludgeoned to death.
Hey, dispatch, we've got a dead body here. No murder weapon at this time. No signs of forced entry. Send backup.
When you don't see any evidence of forced entry, you can often conclude that the victim knew their killer. It happens more often than we'd like to think. An unsuspecting person opens the door to their trusted friend or relative, and the murderer waltzes right in. Game over.
Police do a sweep of the entire house. The good news? The killer is gone. The bad news? So is Shayna. Shayna is confined to a wheelchair and can only travel with her mother's assistance. Everything points to a kidnapping.
Imagine the situation the police have on their hands. It stands to reason that the killer has taken Shayna. So somewhere out there, there's a severely disabled teenager whose chances of survival are slim. During my time with the FBI, I learned the hard way that if you don't find the victim of an abduction within the first 48 hours, it gets pretty grim, and it gets that way fast. There's a ticking clock, and it started hours ago.
Police interview Donna's neighbor, Lana. She tells them that Shayna has been having a romance with a man she met online.
He's really cool. He's really, really cute. Like, he makes me laugh. He's so funny. Does your mom know? No. Oh my God, she'd kill me.
His name is Robbie, and he's a 32-year-old resident of Utah.
Now we're getting somewhere. Whenever you've got a missing woman, the first place you look is her husband or boyfriend. 85% of the time, if they haven't done the deed themselves, then they've masterminded it. And I use the term mastermind kind of lightly.
Using Robbie's social media account, where he has helpfully posted his address, the police are able to track him down to Salt Lake City, Utah.
Really? Posting your address on your social media account? Oh, come on. That has to take the cake for one of the stupidest things anyone can do, much less a potential criminal who police are looking for.
They've come prepared for a violent confrontation with a suspected brutal killer.
Sorry, I was just in the bathroom. Come in.
Who's there?
Instead of finding a sickly, disabled Shayna, possibly tied and bound...
Shayna?
The police find an able-bodied, healthy young woman.
Shayna is obviously not kidnapped, nor is she disabled. Someone's got some serious explaining to do.
Shayna and Robbie admit they've been having a secret, long-distance love affair.
The investigation has taken a bizarre and completely unexpected turn. So now the investigators have to switch lanes, throw their original assumptions out the window, and follow the breadcrumbs. And in this case, it's not a straight line.
Shayna, I've got to tell you, your mother's dead.
What?
She was murdered.
No.
I'm sorry.
No. What?
I know it's hard, but I have to ask you if you know anything.
Shayna claims to have no idea who would want to hurt her mother. Everyone loved her.
Shayna, I was under the impression that you were sick, even in a wheelchair.
Shayna tells an astonishing tale. For her whole life, she has been forced by her mother to pretend to be an invalid.
Shayna. Mom, I feel fine.
She had none of the medical problems or illnesses Donna claimed she had. Even her age had been a lie. Most people thought Shayna was 18. In reality, she's 26.
Mother-daughter relationships are complicated at the best of times, but this takes it to a whole new level. You've got a mother who has somehow made her daughter believe all of her life that she's been sick. And you thought your mom was tough on you?
It's pretty much the wackiest case this cop has ever heard. Was Shayna truly a victim? Or a willing accomplice?
Sometimes criminals hide in plain sight, which can make them even more difficult to catch, and this is especially true of fraudsters like Donna. They fit seamlessly into society, and if you show them a vulnerability, they'll play you.
Who was Donna? And how did she get away with this brazen fraud for so long? Born and raised in Texas, Donna grew up with an abusive father. She had Shayna when she was only 21 years old and worked as an office cleaner to make ends meet. When Hurricane Ike hits and she loses everything, she packs up and moves north to Cheyenne, Wyoming for a fresh start.
I've been taking care of her all her life. I'm her mother, and I know what's best. She needs the surgery.
From the moment she was born, Donna claimed her daughter suffered from numerous ailments.
She's sick.
They travel from clinic to clinic, with Donna browbeating medical experts to provide the diagnosis she wants for Shayna. If one doctor doubts her claims or produces negative test results,
I'm gonna get a second opinion.
she simply goes to another. Shayna endures many unnecessary surgeries and even has a feeding tube inserted into her stomach. This allows Donna ultimate control. She can monitor what Shayna eats and can administer whatever drug she wants her to take.
Shayna, look at the beautiful colors in this book. Oh, what a cute little bird. My goodness. He seems to be quite happy to be there, too. Oh, look at these.
Donna treats Shayna as though she's many years younger than she really is.
Sweetheart. I like his shirt.
She withdraws her from school, telling everyone she is stuck with the mental capacity of a 7-year-old. By the time she's a young teen, Shayna doesn't even know her true age.
Sweetheart, it's okay. I'm not feeling well. I think I might need my pills.
Of course, sweetheart, of course.
Shayna is, in effect, brainwashed to believe she's an incurable invalid. So the next time you think you've got problems with your own mother, think again.
Here's your check.
The public eats up the story of a single mom with a severely disabled daughter.
I'd just like to thank him. It's been such a difficult time for me, us, and we really appreciate all the love that has gone into assisting Shayna. Being a single mom is hard, but with all the help from everyone, we really appreciate it. Don't we, Shayna?
Donna benefits from social assistance and donations.
This woman makes Joan Crawford look like a saint. Not only is she making her daughter ill, but she's making a quick and easy buck at the same time.
What no one knows is that Donna is exhibiting classic signs of a rare and highly disturbing condition.
It's going to be so helpful to us, isn't it, Shayna?
Munchausen syndrome by proxy, a disorder in which a spouse or a caregiver fabricates illness in their partner or child.
So let me spell it out for you non-believers. Basically, your loved one isn't killing you. They're simply making you sick so that they can get attention.
I would do anything for my daughter.
It's a controversial concept and not universally accepted by mental health experts.
So as an investigator, you've got to wonder, is it deliberate abuse or something that the instigator can't help? Is it a real illness or a way of rationalizing appalling behavior? In my 25 years of law enforcement, I've seen strange motives, but making your daughter believe she's dying so you can get attention, well, that pushes the crazy meter full tilt.
Shayna is forced into a life of deception until one day she makes a glorious discovery: the internet. Shayna discovers there's a whole world out there beyond the prison her mother has created for her. And she's determined to explore it.
Up until now, Shayna isn't a typical teen. But deprive them of candy and they'll want candy. Deprive them of a social life, you get the picture.
Shayna becomes quickly obsessed with the new opportunities presented.
Shayna sets up 3 secret social media accounts and communicates with people at night when Donna is asleep. And by people, I mean boys. And by boys, I mean men.
Shayna's first attempt at independence takes place at a comic book convention, a rare treat from Donna for her sick daughter. Shayna takes the first chance she can get and ducks out of Donna's view.
Shayna! Get your hands off my daughter, you pervert! She's only 16! I'm gonna call the police.
Beware a mother scorned, especially one with psychological issues.
And you are never going to leave me. And this, you are never going to see again. Ever. Ever.
Every rational human being has their breaking point. And the moment in the hotel room is the proverbial last straw for Shayna.
Donna eventually gives back the computer, figuring that Shayna has learned her lesson. But Shayna has other plans and begins plotting to escape her mother and their life of deception for good.
The internet has changed the world in a lot of ways, from how we interact with each other to how we form intimate relationships.
Enter Robbie. Maybe not the greatest catch in the world, but for an isolated young girl whose only means of communicating with the outside world is online, not bad. Together, they create a vivid online fantasy world. But fantasy soon crosses over to reality. and they start dreaming of a life together.
There's only one thing standing in the way of her happily ever after. Mommie Dearest. So you might think to yourself, why not just run away? Shayna probably thinks her mother will track her down and destroy her one chance at happiness.
After a year of dating online, Shayna and Robbie finally meet IRL, in real life, at a movie theater. The movie can wait. They find a private spot to consummate their relationship. It's no honeymoon suite, but it'll do just fine.
Let's run away together.
What?
Yes.
I can't. My mom. No, she wouldn't understand. She needs to be gone for me to be with you.
Shayna reveals to Robbie her big plan to permanently erase her jailkeeper, AKA her mother, from her life. And she needs Robbie's help.
If I had a girlfriend and she told me on our first official date that she wanted to kill her mother, I'd run for the hills. But then again, love can cause people to throw caution to the wind. If I were to venture a guess, I'd say the fantasy world Shayna has created has crossed over from fantasy to delusion, and she's looking for someone to do her bidding.
Let's do it.
While Donna sleeps like a log, Shayna sneaks out of her bedroom and quietly lets Robbie into her house.
That's perfect. We gotta do this.
Are you sure about this?
100%. I've never been more sure about anything.
With Donna blissfully unaware, her beloved daughter prepares to cut her sleep a little short.
Years of psychological abuse may give Donna cause for regret, as her daughter, Shayna, executes her plan for freedom.
Children killing their parents is very rare. It's even more rare for a daughter to be involved in killing her mother. But Shayna is caught in a perfect storm. She lives an isolated life, and she has an unwavering belief that there is no other way out.
Once Donna is dead, Shayna takes $3,000 of her mother's money, and with Robbie, heads to his home in Salt Lake City, where she's ultimately arrested. The people of Cheyenne are utterly shocked. There, on the evening news, is Shayna. Her hands are cuffed behind her back. But more shocking than the murder charge is the fact that she's walking. Although the murder appears premeditated, given the unique nature of her circumstance, Shayna is allowed to plead guilty to second-degree murder. She's sentenced to 15 years in prison, Some are convinced Shayna's intent was pure evil. Others see Shayna as a brainwashed victim who made a desperate bid to free herself from her monstrous mother.
Mother-daughter relationships can be difficult to navigate, and a daughter killing her own mother can be hard to understand. But maybe Shayna inherited more from her mother than she realized when she entered this made-up fantasy world. She simply played her part in the fairy tale and rid the world of the villain.